What up, peeps? The name is swagRtooth, and I just woke up from my food coma over the Thanksgiving holiday season. I hope these holiday breaks have been good to you too. That being said, I'm taking this playthrough to a game that has literally been a part of my life as long as I can remember. And it's still relevant today, which blows my mind. So right now, I'm pulling off what I like to call a little bit of a gauntlet challenge. Meaning, no practice, no saves, no continues. Once I lose, the video's over. But also, no video editing cuts, because honestly, I can talk about this game all freaking day long. Also, be prepared, I am going to mention the live action movie a lot. And I don't mean the Chun-Li one or the actually really good live action YouTube videos. No, I'm talking about the Raul Julia, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So good, it's bad, chef's kiss, mwah, masterpiece. I'm also gonna play a little cheaply because it has been years since I've played this game. Or correction, I actually played it over Thanksgiving break. So, quick story, and it may make me look like the asshole. But first, a quick realization of Dalsim, like another very memorable character who is a yoga practitioner and renowned pacifist, is so unbelievably capable of setting you on fire. And wearing around his neck was quite possibly baby skulls, because those skulls are too small for an adult. Okay, back to what I was saying earlier. We were having Thanksgiving at a family member's house, and a bunch of cousins came over, and they had kids, and they were all like stationed in the back room playing games, and they were actually playing this game because my cousin actually has the Super Nintendo. He brought it out for them, the kids were having fun, and they asked me to play. And you're probably asking yourself, oh, did you like hold back and let the kids win a couple of matches? And have like one of those cute, memorable moments on holidays between nephews and cousins? No, I absolutely fucking destroyed those kids. I didn't let up a single goddamn inch. And if you're asking yourself, why? Long story short, no one ever did that for me. When you're a kid growing up in the 90s and playing video games, you were constantly tested by fire. Why? Because there was no other goddamn way. Whether it was a random teenager who whipped your ass in any match at the arcade, or if you had an older sibling and they constantly forced you to play Luigi or Tails, or some other side character in any two-player scenario. Either way, you were crushed repeatedly and constantly into the diamond that you were. And I needed to make sure that that lesson got passed on to my little nieces and cousins. That being said, I am no longer allowed at family Thanksgivings. I'm joking. No, I really did do those fights, but we are all good. They still had fun. I got to teach them all the super cool moves, and it got me thinking, I'm gonna play this for the channel. And this should be the E Honda fight. Okay, one weird random fact that I always have in my head because a friend told me, and I've never been able to get it out of my head, that I always remember when I played this level or I think about E Honda. All sumo wrestlers, like legit actual competition sumo wrestlers, all have the capability of doing the splits. And at first hearing that, I'm thinking, what, really? These big guys? And I'm like, yes, it's actually like part of their training because they have to get super low and be very capable of just coming off the ground. That doing the splits is like a very typical thing that all sumo wrestlers should be capable of doing. Like this right now, like he's in his ready stance and they're fully capable of getting lower. Like they're not just like big and powerful, they are nimble. They are surprisingly limber, like cheerleader limber, like the ones they throw in the air. They're that limber. And I don't know how to describe it, but there's something scary about a guy that big and that limber. Like that makes him more capable of killing you, something like that. And I remember learning this fact while actually living in Japan. And I got to actually meet some sumo wrestlers. Also, while there, me and some friends actually got to go to, right here, the Plaza Capcom, which is an arcade in Japan themed after the Street Fighter arcades. And when you walk inside, the rooms were actually themed like the levels of Street Fighter. And that last one, the E Honda bathhouse one, was like the room you walked through to get to the rest of the arcade. And that was such an amazing experience. Like, I was like straight up in nerd heaven that day. Ah, yes, and the mirror match. And this gets me to talk about Blanca. Like, he's one of my favorite characters, legitimately, just because, like, of all the characters, his origin story is the weirdest and the most wild. Everyone's origin story is amazing, but Blanca just doesn't make sense. And for those who don't know, Blanca's origin story is that he is human. He is 100% human. He's not a mutated man beast. He's just a dude. Like, if I'm remembering this right, as a kid, he was in like a plane crash and he was just lost in the Brazilian jungles for I don't know how long he was out there. I assume years, because apparently he survived by camouflaging himself, and there was so much chlorophyll in his like skin, it turned him green. And as for how he fights, like the spin attack and the claws, he learned from like leopards, and his electric attack, he learned from electric eels. And that's it. There's no any more in depth. And for some odd reason, in the movies, they made him a mutant. Or should I say more lab science experiment that somehow resulted in him just looking weird. And they had such a good opportunity to make him look cool, because at the beginning of the movie, he was a regular guy. Then he got mutated on, and they just plastered some stuff on his face, and they didn't use a body double. So what you had was just an ugly green guy with a normal body. Okay, moving on to like the next cop, like Guile. Like, is it weird that in a game that has a character like Vega, that Guile is the one that's giving me the most himbo energy? Like, something about the combination of hair, tank top, and double flag tattoos is just giving me some serious Jersey Shore vibes. But also, I can't get over the fact that this character was played by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And as a kid, I don't know why, but in my head, I thought that was perfect. Like, the fact that he knew how to throw a kick justified this deeply accent Australian guy was capable of playing an all-American character. Like, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, you hear him talking, and you're like, what part of America are you from exactly? And who in the writer's room thought it'd be a good idea to give you a speech that would be remembered as one of the worst speeches in a movie of all time? If you ever have a chance and you're at a party, just play that movie in the background. It's just filled with gems. And Ken, one thing I can never get over is in the movie, yeah, I'm still talking about the movie, they made Ryu and Ken scumbags. I mean, I have no other way to describe them. They become con artists who are just going around like tricking criminals by selling them Nerf guns. Oh, one thing about this level, if you look at the background, they got this one woman, she's like double fisting the air. Like, she is way too into this fight. She's like, yes, fight, kill for my amusement. Thumbs down, take his head. But lady, we're just trying to knock each other out. I said thumbs down. And at least it's something, because I am traveling the world, participating in an actual tournament to decide who the strongest fighter in the world is, and the only spectators we have is just who's ever's in the background at the time. Oh god, this part. You know, it would be years later until Pokemon that I learned that an electric attack on bricks would actually be useless. And I don't know if anybody feels the same way, but these little time segments like were more fun to me than the Mortal Kombat side segments, the test your mights. Like, I didn't feel as anxiety as I did in the Mortal Kombat ones. Yeah, you see, I failed, but I feel like I had more fun. I mean, like, if you had the ability to break bricks with your hand, wouldn't you have fun? That should be Chun. Yes, Chun-Li, otherwise known as Waifu Ground Zero. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sexualize her, but you have to admit, like, all the female video game characters we have, like, put in that spotlight. Like, if there was, like, a Mount Rushmore of female video game characters we have sexualized, Chun-Li is right up there. I mean, she is there smack dab in the middle between Lara Croft from Tomb Raider and Tifa from Final Fantasy. Oh, you want to know here, like, another very, like, immature joke we just kept pointing out as kids? Like, if you see in the meat store right behind us, there's a guy choking his chicken. Oh God, I'm in my 30s and I'm still pointing this out. And I will continue to do so until the day I die. Yatta. Yeah, I don't want to diminish this character because she's actually like a legitimately good character. She's fully capable of kicking you to death. But in the movie, she's a reporter looking for revenge. And she works as a reporter with E Honda and Balrog as her film crew. Sorry, correction. All three of them are looking for revenge. I mean, the premise was a little crazy, but like compared to other characters, I guess they somewhat did her justice. Oh God, not a fan of the defeated image of Chun-Li. That didn't age well. USSR. Oh yes, Zangief, the manliest. Round one. Oh God, he looks so awesome. A thing to note that I can't get over is when you do like the color swap thing in the characters, like in Blanca, the color swap is blue. You can do that with Zangief, and he looks cool now with those like vein scars that he's got like going on. But if you do the color swap on him, his uniform and his like body marks and scars, they turn blue too. And it doesn't make him look cool, it just makes him look sick. Like, straight up diseased with something you're supposed to burn the body for. Like he's some kind of final boss in an apocalyptic zombie game. Like, why are you letting this man fight? He's obviously dying. Oh, look at Blanca, he's so happy. Look at him do his happy little flips. He's so fucking happy. And again, in the movie, I just want to point out, like in the movie, there were really just two characters that I think that not only did they just do justice, but they like ripped them from the video game kind of perfectly. One is Zangief. Like, they actually found a guy who was like that big, that burly, who actually looked like him, who could look like he could just like rip you in half, but was also weirdly that lovable, for like the lack of a better word to describe him. For like, if you hear him talk, he was adorable. Is that weird to say? Like there was a part in the movie where he realized that everyone else was getting paid to do their work, and I was like, no, don't make me fall in love with you now, you're the bad guy. Alright, so now I'm on Balrog, and that is not regulation boxing. Oh, that is the cheapest boxing I've ever seen. Like an old school Street Fighter fact with Balrog, Vega, and Bison, their names were actually switched. So actually, holy shit, he's thicker than I thought he was. Okay, sorry. Wow, I got distracted quick. What was I saying? Yes, names. All right, so actually Balrog's original name in the game was Bison because they were actually designing this character to be more like Mike Tyson. But then they all switched it around, so now he is Balrog. And I'm thinking those are pimps in the background. Yeah, pimps. I believe they're all here for the Player Haters Ball happening right down the street. This is Vegas. Oh, and once again, say it with me, in the movie, Balrog, there was a scene where they were storming the castle of Bison's base. Balrog, in the middle of all the chaos, where everyone was like shooting guns and throwing grenades, he finds a pair of boxing gloves and he was like, fucking perfect! This is all I need in this gunfight. Looks like a pimp named Slipback is crying in the background. Look at him still in a fight pose. I didn't hear no bell. Oh, and if you want to see cheap, just look, watch how I use my electric tack here. This was like one of the reasons why I chose Blanca, for this specific room. There we go. See, you gotta get a groove. If it's one thing that works on wine barrels, it's electricity. Everyone knows that. Like, one thing that always pops into my head at this level is like the idea of like a worker or the owner of a vineyard walking in on that and he's like, what the fuck? This is my life's work, asshole. Yes, Vega was wanting to talk about him because he is the other character that I thought they did perfect in the movie. Because I noticed two things when he introduced him. One was it was during a cage fight with his outfit, mask, claws, and everything. And the other thing was that when they unmasked him, he was fucking beautiful. Like, uncommonly beautiful. Like, here's the thing. I am not gay, but I know a hot piece of ass when I see one. Like, of all the characters in this game I am most likely to sexualize, it's Vega number 1, Chun-Li number 2, and maybe Zangief number 3. God, and this theme song is just so hype. Like, it's honestly tied between Guile's theme song. Both of them are like something I could have in my gym mix. So yeah, they completely did him good in the original movie. But in the Chun-Li movie, oh man, did they fuck that up. Oh God, you nimble motherfucker. You know, for a guy with claws, you wouldn't think his special move is body slams. Like in the Chun-Li movie, the guy they got to play Vega was one of the singers from Black Eyed Peas. And he's not an ugly dude, but as far as like Vega, on a scale from 1 to 10, he was a solid meh. Like, like a solid I don't care. And I think that was quite possibly his like only role in movies. Alright, I'm actually making it pretty far. Thailand, I am actually dreading this one. Sagat is a freaking monster and I've always had trouble with him. But I also love him as a character because in the Street Fighter games, he's only gotten more terrifying. Like here, he looks like a somewhat decent opponent, like he's just mostly tall, but as the games go on, he's just gotten more terrifying looking. And one of my other favorite like OG Street Fighter, oh, I hate losing the first match, it makes me like nervous. One of my favorite like OG Street Fighter facts is the one who gave him that scar is Ryu. That scar on his chest, Ryu gave to him when he was filled with so much murderous rage that he nearly killed him with an uppercut. And that eye patch that he's wearing, he got from the father of Dan Hibiki, who was like the anti-Street Fighter, a character created literally to make fun of another fighting game. So as much as he is like legitimately a 7 feet tall Muay Thai giant capable of killing you with his bare hands, he's walking around with scars from all the other characters. But in the movie, he's a little tiny Asian retired dude. Oh my God, I need to get close. No! Oh God, this is the end. No! Yeah, laugh it up, asshole. Oh god, I was one match away from the end. Oh, I wanted to talk about Raul Julia so bad. But nope, I keep my word. There are no continues. This is the end. I'll talk about Raul Julia another time and how that was possibly one of his greatest performances ever. But until then, the name is swagRtooth. Night.